We all know Squid Game is brutal, but it's also supposed to be fair. Every player is given a chance to win. That's what they promised us, right? But what if I told you that behind the neon lights, creepy doll eyes, and psychopathic VIPs, some of the deaths were not the result of bad luck or bad choices, but of twisted mechanics, rigged games, and downright injustice? In today's video, we're diving into every unfair death in Squid Game season. Not the saddest deaths, not the most shocking ones, but the ones that make you want to throw your remote at the screen and scream. That's bull squid. So buckle up, because fairness is dead, and we're about to dissect every rule they broke in a game that claims to be fair. Number 1. Player 271. What happens when you talk during dinner? In Squid Game, you die. Player 271. The poor guy didn't even make it to the next game. His fatal mistake? Saying the quiet part out loud. He criticized Deok-soo during the dorm brawl night, and Deok-soo made an example of him. Beat him to death. Brutally. Loudly. Right in front of the guards. And what do the guards do? They stood there like poorly paid mall security during Black Friday. They did nothing. The man wasn't killed by the game. He was killed by unchecked chaos. And the guards only stepped in once too many players were dying. So much for we uphold the rules. Number 2. Player 17. He knew how to win, so they made him lose. Player 17, Do-young-soo, the glassmaker.
시간 끌지 마. 잠깐만요. 내가 구별하는 방법을 알아요. 어떻게? 유리공장에서만 30년을 일했어요.
Finally, a man whose real-world experience should have helped him survive the game. After decades of working with tempered and normal glass, he could easily spot which panel was safe. He was winning, until the VIPs got bored and the front man suddenly decided to turn off the lights. Let's be clear, if a math genius can count marbles, why can't a glassmaker identify glass? Why? Because the elites got bored. His death wasn't just unfair, it was rigged. He played smart and died because the game hated smart players. Number 3. Player 111. He was scum, but the system was worse. Player 111. The guy literally harvested organs from dead players. No, we're not defending him. He was a walking malpractice lawsuit. But the reason his death was unfair, he was invited into this corruption. The guards used him, gave him hints for games, fed him info, and then when the truth started leaking, they turned on him like he was the only villain in the room. Let's get real, he didn't start the black market ring. He just joined in. But when the scandal hit, they hung him like yesterday's laundry. A scapegoat for a system rotting from the inside. Number 4. Se-byok. She survived the game, but didn't survive the win. Oh, Se-byok. Player 67. She fought tooth and nail. She survived hell. She made it to the final 3. And then, boom! A random piece of shrapnel from the exploding glass bridge slices her abdomen open. Why were they blowing up the bridge after the players completed the game? What was the point? Nobody was left behind. There was no need for the extra drama, unless the goal was never fairness. But shock value. She didn't die in a game. She died from over-the-top pyrotechnics. If this were a concert, that would be a lawsuit. In Squid Game, it's just Tuesday. Number 5. Young-bae. What's worse than dying in a death game? Dying because someone else decided you should. He is one of the first to join Ji-hun's rebellion against the game's organizers, driven by a strong sense of justice. His military background and past experiences make him a capable and reliable ally. Throughout the games, he demonstrates compassion, such as when he supports the inclusion of a pregnant contestant, Junhee, into their team. Young-bae plays a crucial role in Ji-hun's attempted uprising against the game's overseers. Armed and determined, they make a bold move towards the control room, but are ultimately overpowered. In a devastating turn, the front man executes Young-bae in front of Ji-hun, a calculated act intended to break Ji-hun's spirit. This loss profoundly affects Ji-hun, leaving him grappling with guilt and despair. Young-bae's death is not just a personal tragedy, but a symbolic blow to the hope and resistance they embody. No game, no chance, just a bullet. Number 6. The 3 players pushed by Thanos. What makes this death unfair is not just the push, it's the fact that Thanos survived. How? Because the guards and the creepy robot doll apparently went on a coffee break. The control room saw everything. Infrared, movement scans, even your heartbeat. Yet somehow they missed Thanos turning into a linebacker and sending 3 people to their deaths? Justice? Non-existent. Fairness? About as fair as tug of war, with one team tied to a truck. These players didn't die because they broke the rules. They died because the rules didn't protect them. The game had just started. People were panicking, bodies dropping like flies. Then, 3 players who had finally gotten their act together and were doing everything right get pushed by a guy we lovingly call Thanos, player 271. Why? Because apparently, this dude thought yeeting people was a survival strategy. Let's be real, they weren't moving. They were launched. Number 7. Kong Mina, player 196. Sometimes being in the wrong place at the wrong time is all it takes. Panicking during red light, green light. Mina's movement leads to her death. First up, Kong Mina, player 196, a carefree spirit with a debt of 45 million Korean wons. She entered the game seeking redemption. But fate had other plans. During the first game, Thanos, player 230, jokes about a bee on her. Mina flinches, a natural reaction, and is immediately shot. The first casualty, not by incompetence, but by a cruel twist of humor. Her final words were, "A bee. Crap, I just moved."
뭐야?
네가 꽂힌 거 아나 봐. 너한테 벌이 앉았어.
다 움직였어.
Fans were outraged. A bee, seriously, became a meme, highlighting the absurdity of her demise. Number 8. Thanos, player 230. Thanos, player 230, exuded strength and control. But power in the Squid Game is fleeting. After a heated argument, Thanos strangles Ming-Chi, who retaliates by stabbing him with a fork. The mighty fall, not by game rules, but by personal vendettas. Viewers saw this as poetic justice, a reminder that arrogance has consequences. Number 9. Young Mi, player 95. Young Mi, player 95, found herself isolated during the Mingle game. Abandoned by her team, she became an easy target. Her death wasn't due to failure, but the cruelty of being deemed expendable. Fans empathized with Young Mi, highlighting the game's exploitation of the vulnerable. Number 10. Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim, once a formidable loan shark, sought to dismantle the game's foundation. But the recruiter had other plans. Forced into a lethal game, Mr. Kim sacrifices himself, showcasing bravery in the face of manipulation. Viewers respected Mr. Kim's courage, mourning a character who stood against the system. Number 11. Saimi, player 380. Saimi, player 380, played the Alliance game, trusting Park Min-soo and aligning with Thanos' crew. But in Squid Game, trust is a liability. During a chaotic riot, Namgyu, Thanos' right-hand man, stabs Saimi. Min-soo's attempt to intervene fails. Her death wasn't due to a game loss, but the collapse of fragile alliances. Viewers saw Saimi's death as a harsh lesson. In this game, betrayal is currency. Number 12. The Recruiter. The Recruiter, a symbol of the game's reach, meets his end in a final game of Russian roulette with Jihan. Choosing death over defeat, his demise underscores the game's pervasive despair. Fans were conflicted, relieved at his end, yet pondering the depth of his indoctrination. So there you have it. From glass masters to brave rebels. From rule followers to tragic bystanders. These were the players who didn't lose the game. They were set up to fail, chewed up by a system that claimed to be fair, but bled injustice from every neon corner. Was Squid Game ever truly about redemption? Or was it all a rigged circus for rich monsters in gold masks? Let us know in the comments. Which death hit you the hardest? Which one do you think was the most unfair? Did we miss a death you think deserve a spot here? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Because in this game, the only way to survive is to stay informed. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your steps measured, and your marbles close.